Hello YouTube Minecrafters, this is the Shadow 20. Thought I'd put a video together today talking about the bioreactor. I've been playing Attack of the B Team, and the bioreactor has changed in Attack of the B Team, and no longer works as well as it used to. But I have a solution for you. So, what we've done is I'm going to come here to the bioreactor, just one by itself. I've got a torch under it to turn it off, just to kind of demonstrate just a little bit of what's going on. Usually I ran a lot of my bioreactor generations from like a cactus farm. So you throw in a whole bunch of cactus. I get an efficiency of 5. That means for every piece of cactus I throw in there, I get 5. You used to get 80. That's like a lot. I mean, 16 times less than you got before. So now you need to run a cactus farm 16 times bigger than you ever did, and just to get the same workings. But we're going to do better than that. So you could probably use potatoes, carrots, seeds. That'll get you potatoes, carrots, seeds. Get you up to 4 different items. See, I'm going to use some dye here to throw it in there. And that gets your efficiency up to 150. That'll do pretty decent. But I mean, that's still not very high on the list here of 1425. I'm going to show you how to be able to get that efficiency to 100% using dyes and run a very efficient bioreactor. And here it is. This is kind of like a test world I've been working in. And this is basically the my biofuel generator power supply. And I'll kind of walk through a little bit here with you. Now the first thing is this is a trick that you probably don't know about. And but anyway, right in this one here, I got rose red. We are pulverizer red wool, and when you pulverize red wool, you get 4 string, and you get a 25% chance of getting rose red. So what I do is I take that string, I push it out into the cyclic assembler, where it takes 4 string and makes a piece of wool. And then I push that wool over here to this cyclic assembler, where I take 8 pieces of wool and 1 dye. So I have to come over here to the schematic, and to be able to work the schematic, you got to turn your NEI off. To do that, you push O, and that turns it off, so that way you can actually use this. In other words, you can't make this thing work over here. Just push O again, it'll come back. But you just take your wool around and put a piece of dye in the middle, hit OK, and it takes 8 pieces of wool to make one and 1 dye to do that. So if you figure that out, you use 1 dye to make 8 pieces of wool, that you get a 25% chance out of each piece of wool to get a piece of rose red. So in a sense, on average, every time 8 pieces of wool go through there, you're getting an extra rose red, with obviously a chance of getting more, as always. So you do that with rose red. I'm doing it with orange. I'm doing it with cyan. Let's turn the sound down just a smidge. I'm doing it with magenta, lapis, lapis, which is awesome because if you needed lapis lazuli for anything, it's a dye. It's macerating blue, or I'd say macerating because I'm used to the other mod pack. Pulverizing blue dye wool and gives you lapis. So there's a nice way of getting a lot of lapis if you need it. We got lime, cactus greens. Hey, don't need a cactus farm anymore. We've got our purple. You got your green dye, and then you only need 9 of these. Well, I went ahead and I put together 12. I've got light gray dye. I've got ink sacs. No longer need to go out and kill all the squid. And pink dye. It's the same thing. You're just using a different dye when you color your wool. The same procedure. Oops, I didn't want to do that. And you pulverize it, and it gives you your ink sacs. Now, out of all the dyes, there's 16 colors of dyes. I've only got 12 here. The one that I don't have here, and it's super easy to do, and it's awesome, pulverizing straight white wool. You only need one cyclic assembler to put the wool back together again and shove it back in the pulverizer. And pulverizing white wool gives you bone meal. Infinite supply of bone meal. All you need to do is apply power. So anyway, what I've done here is I've got this system just sitting here cranking away, pulverizing wool, giving me my rose red. Now, as you can see here, the chests are pretty full. I've been running this operation for a little while on my test server here, and it does take a while to get it up and running. And I've been testing to see, how efficient it's running. And as you can see right now, the chests are all full, relatively full. And this thing is still working hard. It just show you just how powerful the sucker is. But we'll get there. Now what I've done is rather than I wanted a storage of chest, put everything into a storage chest, but I still need to get the dye back into the cyclic assembler so I can color the wool. And to do that efficiently, I'm using these router interface pipes, and I just got a broadcaster chip in this one up here. And what that'll do is that broadcasts that I've got lime dye in this chest, and then I come down here and I've got a item stock keepers chip, and this thing here is just making sure that I've got 9 pieces of lime in the cyclic assembler at all times, and then I got the router junction to connect it to the rest of the system. I just went top to bottom. I could have gone in on the side, but I wanted an extra space to be able to connect this to it. I don't like connecting router interface pipes to router interface pipes, as they seem to bug out. They seem to bug out this way too, but they seem to bug out less this way. So anyhow, use the routed junction pipes, get your chips in there set right, and it'll go ahead and just cycle it back down. Now what that does is that keeps your cyclic assembler with enough dye to be able to keep dyeing your wool, and your wool just sit there and just keeps cycling through the system, and it never reaches the routed interface junctions. This system here, it never sees it. So you could literally attach this power supply to your storage system and be able to get dye as you need it, and providing you don't call too much and starve the system out, but your wool will stay in there and string and not get pulled out by doing it this way. So I've got it all powered up. Now I'm going to warn you right now, when you fire this up, this is not a start the game, build these machines and go. You've got to have another power source. You're going to have some other source of providing power to get started, because it takes a while to pulverize all these dyes and get them going with the stock, so that way you can start working with it. But anyhow, we'll go on to the next part. Now what I do is everything's connected, and then I come down and I literally use a item stock keeper chip in here, where I've got 32 of every, or at least 32 of 9 different dyes. I just chose 9 and shoved 32 in each one. So when I come into the bioreactor here, see it's -1 right there. See them come in? It's going to keep this stocked with at least 32 of each dye. that keeps your efficiency at peak efficiency. So you can see right here, you need if you're going to keep 32 in here, you're going to need to keep at least a stack, and you got to get a stack and a half just to get started. And through playing with this, I have figured out that a bioreactor can supply enough biofuel at a speed in which you can supply, with a bioreactor running as hard as it can at creating fuel, it can only provide enough fuel to keep 5 biofuel generators running. It can only do 5. You put a 6th one in there and it runs out of the fuel will run backwards and you run out, and they'll start shutting themselves off because there's not enough fuel to keep them running. So it can keep 5 running. It won't generate any more fuel and it won't lose any fuel. It stays right perfect. Well, as you can see, this system with those going, I've got the exact same 9 dies in here, and the exact same 9 dies in here as well. And as you can see, they're all on. You can see the buffer is sitting there counting down. It's counting down. I'm actually running 3 bioreactors off this system, and I am not pulling too much. I mean, it's, if I look there or look in here, I've got an excess of rose red in here. I got an excess of orange dye in here, and this has been running for a while. I'm afraid to put on a 4th one. I might put on a 4th one to test, but I'm afraid that it won't keep up. But 3 of them, let me tell you what, 1 bioreactor with 5 of these biofuel generators is more than enough power. More than enough power to run all 12 of these running at full steam. No problem. I mean, no problem whatsoever. Matter of fact, I think if I only run 9 pulverizers and the cyclic assemblers, and I like shut these 3 off, I think I can power the entire thing off of 3 biofuel generators. It'll literally do it. So the extra 2 are like extra power. I mean, you're like your free power. Well, this thing is so efficient at generating juice that well, I got 3 bioreactors running. That means I've got 15, because they can only run, if you notice, I got 15 biofuel generators sitting here running, and I got this tank sitting here just to kind of see how my bio levels are running, and they haven't moved. That's still sitting at 10,094. It's been there for an hour, and this one here has been flickering at 15,995,65656. Been sitting like that for an hour. No fuel gain, no fuel loss. So 3 bioreactors is generating just enough fuel to keep 15 of these suckers running. You can see here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 and 7 is 14, and the next one here is 15. And I've got them all tied in together, and I've got them sitting here, and I've got them all. This one here is full. This in here, oh, that one's full too now. And you can see the power just coming in. This is just extra power. I got power coming in here because this system is pulling power from this one, but this is extra power. This is all just extra juice. Look how fast it's coming in. I mean, there ain't anything you can. I mean, you can power a whole lot of things in your base with this power system. And like I said, I don't know if I can quite kick on a 4th bioreactor. It was kind of shaky there at a while when I just fired up all 3, and some of these were kind of struggling a little bit at keeping enough dye in here, but they seem to have done okay. See, this one's still struggling a little bit. but it is in the positive side of the game. And you want to keep everything on the positive side, obviously. And so it's been working just great with just with this. And so I'm just generating dye, and then I'm using that dye on my bioreactor, and I've got 3 of them creating power. Got more than enough juice, and it's all these. See, none of these others seems to be collecting any power. That one's getting a little bit of juice. Glitching. That one there is just flying in, and then this one's full. Yeah, this thing's been running for a couple hours now. A little while ago I broke all of these, and I replaced all of them so that way I could restart the power, because these were all full of these were all completely full of power. So I broke them all and replaced them so I could get it to reset, but and continue to consume biofuel, and just keep them all just going as hard as it can, and it seems to be working pretty good. Now when you got a closed system like this, I would recommend putting at least a chest down with like an item responder and a broadcaster chip in it, near your bioreactor, just in case an item gets stuck in the pipe someplace. And because it happens occasionally, an item will get stuck in your pipes. This way it'll have some place to go, and then it'll get called back out and taken and dealt with. Yeah, so this is my Attack of the B Team power supply that just better than anything else. The reason why I developed this was because I was using the steam turbine, where you just take an aqueous accumulator and you shove water into the steam turbine, but one of the upgrades to the game nullified that and doesn't work anymore. So I had to come up with a easier power solution. I can't even talk today. An easier power solution. And well, once I figured this out, and then I thought about the power system, I just kind of combined the two, and well, voila. I've got the same system running on a public server where I've been playing, and the whole thing is literally jam-packed into a little room about 12 by 13, no, 12 by 11 by 4 blocks tall, and I've only got 6 biogenerators running with 2 bioreactors powering it, and that's way more power than my entire base is capable of consuming. And I've got like 5 of these resonant energy cells in my base, and they're completely packed full, and it's just more power than I need. And here I'm running 15 off of this system, and so I realize I can completely increase my power output of my current base's power supply without having to increase any work. Just add more and go, because I'm already got this going. So I'm ecstatic at how well this is working. And yeah, if you like what I got going on here, please give me a like, give me a thumbs up, give me something, give me some loving, and tell me what you think. I hadn't seen this anywhere else at all. I hadn't seen this pulverizing wool to get dyes anywhere. I had to figure that out on my own. I hadn't seen that anywhere. So if somebody else figured it out first, hey, good for you. But I didn't. I never saw any. I haven't seen anybody's video on it. Um, and I hadn't seen this with the dies and this put together yet, so hopefully this will help some of you guys out that are needing power but haven't been able to get it. Um, and well, thanks for watching.